Well, hello, good morning, and welcome back to the Cruise Channel here today, where tomorrow. In today's video, I'm going to take you on a quick ship tour of the Margaritaville at Sea Islander. And we are going to start in the place nobody wants to end up, the infirmary. That's right, medical bay down here on deck 1. But next to that is the Coral Reef Lounge. This is forward on the ship. It's a nice little lounge that they do some shows, trivia, and things at. It was currently being used for a team get-together. So next to that, upstairs on deck 2 is the Stars on the Water Theater. This ship is an older style ship, was built in 2000, so it has this multi-level theater. They do also bingo and things like that, which you'll see a little bit later. And I really did like the theater. I love the way it's laid out. Moving on back, deck 2, we have the Far Side of the World Lounge, which has the Far Out Teen Lounge and the arcade. The arcade had some pretty good games, Guitar Hero, Star Wars, things like that. And then across from that is the Far Side of the World Lounge. Now, here in the lounge, this multi-use space was used for a meeting point for excursions. As you see now, they are doing a fitness stretching class in this morning. They also do trivia and karaoke. Now, across from here is the Farside Sushi Bar, where you can get drinks, cocktails, and order some sushi. We did that on board and loved the Farside Sushi. Moving on back on deck 2, we run into the Margaritaville Casino, which does span the entire width of the ship. And includes the Love and Luck Casino Bar. So there is a bar inside of the casino, but you do have to walk through the casino to get from forward to aft. Now moving into the flip-flop atrium, this is your main atrium here. Love all the decorations that they've done here. So you could always kind of find where you were on the ship using the atrium as a guide. And here you have guest services and the excursions desk. They have the flip-flop bar. They have some really cool lounge seating all the way around. They had a lot of fun stuff in the atrium that I really enjoyed. Now moving on farther back here, we have the Hemisphere Dance Craft Spirits, which is kind of a fancier bar. They have a lounge, and then they always had live music playing every night, which was wonderful. And then we have the Hot Hot Nightclub. It is a nightclub, kind of a over 18 nightclub that we went to one night. Was really fun. And we're going to move back towards the Finn's main dining room. This is one of 2 main dining rooms, both located in the aft of the ship. We had breakfast and dinner here at Finn's a couple of times on our sailing and really did enjoy the food and the vibe. The decor is really, really nice. Moving up to aft of deck 3, this is the Islander main dining room, which is very similar to Finn's. In fact, they share the same menu. Now, the Islander does have some extra food options that you can order, and as you see, the tables have tablecloths. So this is a little bit of a upper scale dining as opposed to Finn's down on deck 2. Now moving outside of the food, we do run into the Bubbles Up Lounge. They had a pianist here on a couple of the evenings just playing, which was really, really nice. And the bar makes some very interesting bubble-themed drinks. Now as we move farther back on deck 3, which we are kind of back at the atrium, we have the lovely cruise photos, where you can see the printed out photos, and you can use their tablets to find and purchase your photos. Here in the main atrium again, they have this wonderful little model of the ship, which is very, very detailed. I love little models like that, so I stared at that for a little too long. And then here around the main atrium, you have a couple of things here. We have our concierge desk. We have our future cruise desk. And the lovely cruise photo studio. So if you wanted to do any fancy studio camera stuff, really, really nice. And then here's a look over the atrium again with the flip-flop bar and of course the big giant blown out flip-flop, which is great for photos. Now we are heading towards the shopping districts, but before we do that, let's go ahead and head on outside and show you what the deck on deck 3 looks like. It was a little bit gloomy this day. In fact, it was super windy, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But as you can see, boy, there is nothing like standing out on a deck in the middle of the ocean, just watching the waves go by. I absolutely love the open sea, and this is just one of those things that speaks to me. All right, let's head back inside, and we are going to check out some of the retail shops. These shops have a little bit of everything. If you have forgotten some toiletries, they sell toothpaste, deodorant, and aspirin. If you want anything with the word Margaritaville on it, a blown out flip-flop, or any other Margaritaville type, they have that as well. And then of course they have your high-end watches and bags and jewelry and things like that. So if you want to spend a little bit of money, then this is the place to do it. Now moving on forward towards the sports bar, we have the Havana Daydreaming Sports Bar area. This was a wonderful spot on the ship. They had this nice bar here. They had some great Cuban music playing each night. We hung out here quite a lot. And of course, inside these rooms, they have a bunch of TVs showing all the different sporting events that are going on at the moment. And just outside of that is the Hangout, which is the Tween Club on board. So let's go ahead and we will move forward. We are almost at the front end of deck 3. As you can see here, I think they were doing bingo at this time. Now, just outside of the theater, running all the way around the theater on both sides, port and starboard, is the A1A, the Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway. This was a super quiet spot with these beautiful porthole windows where you could come and read a book and sit quietly. It was an absolutely beautiful spot on the ship, and honestly, one of my favorite themed areas aboard. Now, speaking about themed areas, this is quietly making noise. This is the speakeasy on board. So it's quite the experience. If you are a parrot head, I would highly suggest trying to get reservations to the quietly making noise speakeasy. It's definitely worth it. Now, moving all the way forward, on deck 4, we have the Fins Up Fitness area. Unfortunately, it seemed like half of the machines were not working. So that was kind of disappointing, but that's pretty much all you got on deck 4. We'll move up to deck 5, which only has the kids clubs, the Jollymon and the Parakeets. The rest of deck 5 and deck 6, 7, and 8 are all staterooms. And that's when we come to deck 9, which is the Saint Somewhere Spa. Now, we had a great time here hanging out with the spa manager. She was super nice and allowed us to film in a bunch of their different rooms. So if you are ever interested in checking out any of the spa services on board, Stefani can hook you up with the best. So as you can see, the beautiful views looking out over the water as you're getting a massage or a pedicure or a manicure, a great time would be had here. Now we are going to head out on deck to the Landshark pool area. There are 3 pool areas aboard this ship. 2 of them are found here midship on deck 9, the Landshark pool, which is what we're looking at now. And as you see up there, they have the Landshark landing. Unfortunately, I couldn't go up there because it was too windy, but that was an amazing spot to view going under the Skyway Bridge. So if you're ever on the Islander and you're leaving out of Tampa, you will go under the Sunshine Skyway, and the Landshark landing area is an amazing place to see them. Between the Landshark pool and the 5 o'clock somewhere pool is, of course, the Landshark bar. Now that does wrap all the way around, so if you need a drink from either side of the pool, they have you covered. So here we are looking at the 5 o'clock somewhere pool. And as you can tell, they're basically the same pool, just on either side of the Landshark bar. Now we do see some of the food options here. This is looking at the cheeseburger in paradise, which I was absolutely blown away by the deliciousness of the dining on board the Islander. Now, as you can see, it is super windy. In fact, they have closed off all of the upper decks because it is so incredibly windy. On the other side here, we have the Mexican Cutie Cantina, which was also very, very good. Now we will move a little bit farther back towards the Port of Indecision buffet. We had tons of food here, it's very good. And then now we are looking at the Margaritaville coffee bar. So they do have an upcharge coffee bar, and just beyond that is the Frank and Lola's Pizzeria, where you can get your pizza. Now moving back to the adults only area on deck 9 aft, this is the Tiki Bar pool area, where they have the Tiki Grill and the Island Eats and the Tiki Bar. So there are some a la carte food options. These are not complimentary. You do have to pay for these. We had the dining package, and so we got a $25 credit for a la carte purchase at both the Tiki Grill and the Island Eats. And honestly, I could take it or leave it food-wise. They were pretty good, but nothing to write home about. If you do have the money, or if you want to try it, there are a couple of things on the menu that were pretty good. The lobster roll was pretty good in my opinion. We're going to go back into the buffet here. In the middle of the atrium, they have this glass staircase. And this glass staircase will actually take you up to deck 10 to the JWB Prime Steakhouse, which is the steakhouse aboard the Islander. I did try this steakhouse. It was part of our dining package. It was one of those one and dones for me. It was very good food. But for the price, I felt like it was not, there weren't a lot of options for the price. So I am on deck 10 here, which is where the only smoking location is above the pool. And this is the only area that they had open because of high winds. You can see they got a couple of ropes here and things. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to round out deck 10 or 11, which is the Dis and Dat activity zone, which it has mini golf and cornhole and a pickleball court amongst the water slide and some really good lounging area. So unfortunately, we don't get to check that out. If you'd like to see more in-depth videos on the Margaritaville at Sea Islander, we did a whole series aboard of daily vlogs, food reviews, and a room tour. If you'd like to see any of that, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. I'll leave a link down below and a card up above of the playlist of our time aboard the Margaritaville at Sea Islander. But my name's Rob with Here Today, Where Tomorrow, and we will see you there. If you like this video and want to see more, please head on over to the channel and subscribe. And if you want to get notified, ring that little bell. We upload new videos every week.